World of Warcraft 2 is coming? Are you kidding me? That's not true, right? Alright, let's check this one out and see if it's true.
Hey, what up, boys? So it appears my doomsday prediction about Dragonflight ending the Warcraft franchise couldn't be further from reality.
I think it will never
As it
end.
Seems China
Hopefully.
have decided to step in and flatten WoW with their own Warcraft clone.
What?
Hey, China, you're about 15 years too late to jump on that bandwagon. But nonetheless, it appears
That's true.
our corporate giants
done it
over
earlier.
at Tencent have released a super hype and not at all cheap mobile level marketing trailer showing off their new cross-platform MMO. Is it an MMO? How many classes does it have?
Is that why Blizzard is no longer in China? I've heard like they're no longer going to release World of Warcraft or like have anything like World of Warcraft servers in China. Like I heard they pulled out of it. So is this why?
Is it on mobile? Well, nobody knows because it was announced on the 18th and it's all in bloody
So World of
Chinese.
Warcraft left
However,
China.
What
I
we
read
do
the
know
news a few
is
days
that it
ago.
all looks pretty familiar and I can't wait to get stuck into it. But before we get into that, our patrons and I would love for you to grab yourself a Cola because Blizzard and I don't really see eye to eye in recent years. I don't
Not
agree
just you.
with the direction
So
that they've
many
been
feel that
taking the
way.
game, but despite that, this game still means a lot to me, and I'll
Yeah.
be damned if I'm gonna sit by and
I
watch
grew up
China
with it, so-
rip off my beloved characters and not give my borderline pointless takes that nobody asked for. Now, with all that bollocks out of the way, let's just jump straight into it. Now, we'll quickly go over the Blizzard x China drama because I think it's important to set some context before we jump into Tencent's new
That's what I said.
cross-platform WoW
There's no more
clone.
WoW in
However,
China.
if you positively cannot handle context and need to blindly consume the topic of the video, the timestamp for that is here on the screen and linked in the description below. For the
We're gonna
remainder
watch
of you
all.
who stayed at this point, it appears the negotiations between NetEase and Blizzard has fallen through. NetEase being Blizzard's Chinese publisher. This happening after all the Hearthstone drama.
There was so much drama and they couldn't compete for Hearthstone or something, I've also read in the news, right? And one thing I find so stupid, and that's just in China like that, I think, because in Germany, here where I live, we don't have that in many European countries. Like in China, if you're a gaming company that's not from China, you need a publisher. So you can't just release your game in that country and maybe, I don't know, each time they buy something, they pay a certain amount of tax for their government anywhere, something. That's not enough for them in China. They apparently need now also a publisher, so each game from abroad can be in China available to the people. And I think this is so complicated because they want cuts too, right? So let's assume you have a monthly sub that is around, depending on what package you take, but let's say you have the 11 euros package, for example, right? And then like maybe 20% goes to the publisher or something of what the people pay monthly or so. I believe they have this kind of contracts, right? It's not just like, oh, we add our name. No, they want a cut too from the sales, right? So I think from a business perspective, it's not so attractive because you're making some losses. So you have to either offer the game for a bit more or I don't know. But I think it's so complex. Why they have such laws? Why they don't just make it like every other country in the world where if you're a gaming company from, let's say, Sweden or somewhere and you want to sell your game in the country, you just sell it. And each time someone buys it in a store, they pay some tax anyway for their government, right? So why is a publisher necessary? Like this is the extra they do over there that I think also does not really attract too many companies. Because you have to mess around with like publishers, they want cuts, they want this and that. So from a business perspective, it's probably not so as attractive, right?
Being Blizzard's Chinese publisher. This happening after all the Hearthstone drama a few years back is obviously a devastating blow for Blizzard from a financial point of view because this now means World of Warcraft and a lot of Blizzard's
sell
other
less.
games that were handled by NetEase are no longer available to play in China. My condolences for the faithful players who still enjoy
Even though they make less
Blizzard's
per game,
games and
they sell
I
less,
hope
so
they've
it's
got
still
a
a
way
loss.
to continue playing despite it all being shut down. Which is the
Yeah.
perfect segue
Can they
into
use
a
VPN?
VPN sponsor. However, I don't have one. It really grinds my gears that the players are the ones who end up suffering during this corporate back and forth, and this particular exchange between Blizzard and
Holy shit, just imagine you're like a hardcore WoW player that lives in China. You farmed all those mounts, even the time lost Proto Drake, you have the Void talent, you have like the Love Rocket thingy from the event that barely anyone has, you have the freaking Headless Horseman mount, you have like all those rare mounts, and then suddenly you can no longer log in. And maybe you're losing everything. Wasn't there also some drama on forums that Chinese players are like complaining that they fear that they lose all their achievements, their rare items, their mounts and everything? Wow, imagine they actually lose their accounts. That would be horrible.
NetEase is rather brutal.
Imagine you boosted several characters and you spent so much money.
On January the
or store
17th,
mounts.
NetEase posted that they had rejected the offer to extend Blizzard's game service agreements by 6 months. It then came to light that there were rumors they wanted to seize control of Blizzard's IPs. There were further very
intellectual property,
quips
they mean, right?
between the two giants involving T, of all things, having NetEase refer to Blizzard using a derogatory slang term that means someone who acts sweet and innocent on the outside. I mean, I don't want to agree with China, so let's quickly gloss over that. It seems negotiations had been underway for a while, as Blizzard announced back in November 2022 that certain game services would be ending on January the 23rd, 2023, a few days after this video goes live. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't seem like China is at all happy with Blizzard.
They did what?
They outright tore down the legendary Garrosh statue live on stream the moment the announcement went public. A real shame. And again,
what the heck? They destroyed. And how big was that thing? Look at this. They destroyed it? Why not just keep it?
It's always the players who suffer the most in situations like this.
Yeah.
Now, Blizzard are looking for a new publisher in China, but there isn't really that much information I can elaborate on, so that pretty much covers the drama
could take
in
months
as
or
much
years.
detail as I'm willing to get into. And
you know what the problem is? Even if they find a new publisher, what about the data and all the savings, everything like that the people have accomplished, like their accounts with their characters on mounts and all that? Like, if they find a new publisher, can they just move it over and stuff? Isn't like a publisher also one that holds a part of a server or something? Because I think the publisher has their own server for the players in China, right? So doesn't that mean that if the other publisher is found, that they would need to get the accounts from the old publisher? Or how does that work? If anyone knows, let me know in the comment section, okay? And if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. But I really believe that this could be like that they're actually having some sort of server, so all the information, all the accounts are saved on it. So in order for the players to keep their stuff, like the new publisher would need to get it from the old publisher. But here comes my fear. They're willing to destroy a freaking statue and sell green tea with some sort of hidden message against Blizzard, like what did he say, acting innocent but not being so innocent. So if they're going to such length, how likely is it that they keep the accounts of the players in China actually safe and transfer them to a new publisher? They seem to be super angry if they tear down the whole statue already. That's insane.
Much information I can elaborate on, so that pretty much covers the drama in as much detail as I'm willing to get into.
I feel bad for those hardcore grinders out there.
I have all the appropriate links down in the description, which leaves us
Chinese
with
players now.
The actual point of this video. The soundtrack for this trailer isn't worth playing in the background, so I'll use some cozy Warcraft music instead, and the voiceover is,
copyright
it's in Chinese, so I think we can live without that. But right off the bat, we've got some pretty, familiar vibes.
Are we going to the Outlands?
Haven't we? The game was announced by Tencent a day or so ago and was brought to our attention by Mr. GM over at Twitter, even bringing the mighty Metzen into the fray. Everyone is watching in awe as they pretty much rip off Warcraft one for one without even a single drop.
Wait a second, they have even Tauren and stuff. So this is Deathwing, that's for sure, right? That's the Tauren? Hey, this face looks more humanoid even, okay. Interesting model, but it looks very cartoon-like, right? But then again, some people argue that WoW looks already quite cartoon-like.
Rip off Warcraft one for one without even a single drop of shame. The trailer starts off with a very Jaina / Sylvanas looking clone picking up what looks like, I don't know, Hearthstone maybe. The art style is sporting very mobile-esque graphics.
Oh, this
sucking
looks
the
really
very
like Sylvanas.
soul out of these characters before it even begins.
She goes to Outlands now, the Dark Portal.
A dark portal, perhaps. Yes, I think you're all starting to see a theme here,
Dinosaurs,
as it leads us right into some epic biomes that most certainly won't be
Wait,
generic
that's a new
and
Dragonflight,
copy-pasted from
Dragonite
various
zone.
mobile titles Tencent are infamous for.
Are you in
But we're only
Ravendraft?
just getting started, lads. We cut straight into a scene of Kel'Thas, who seems to have re-rolled to a paladin, commanding a
Kel'Thas has rerolled to a paladin. Yo, Narc, that was a good one right there. Yo, they have freaking blood elves there too. Holy shit. I mean, we saw Torn earlier on the image. Are we going to see here
to
Torn
a
too?
paladin commanding a literal copy of the Alliance and Horde
Yeah.
airships in mid-battle.
That's the airship of the Alliance.
You'll never guess who. Yes,
Same model.
that's right.
Deathwing.
It's only Deathwing.
That's the freaking Gates of Stormwind. It's like the Gates of Stormwind and Deathwind. Just like in the trailer for Cataclysm.
That's right. It's
Holy
only
shit,
Deathwing.
that's-
You can't make
that's
this
so
shit up, lad. The
copy-paste.
shamelessness on display
There's
is
no way this
mind-blowing.
coincidence.
And if the Chinese audience aren't
Holy
up
shit.
in arms about this, then I don't know
Deathwing
where this
at the
planet's
Gates
heading.
of
The next
Stormwind.
shots are some very generic-looking fake gameplay,
Blood
very
Elf,
indicative
Frost
of your
Mage,
typical
okay.
mobile advert. It even does
Protection
the warrior
Warrior.
thunderclap and has a Death Knight-looking ass wielding a bloody Shadowborn.
Holy
It's hilarious,
shit,
really.
that's
The remainder
Shadowborn.
of this trailer just continues the very mobile-esque vibe, but we still have a way to go, so hold on to your pogs, because this gameplay looks like it comes straight out of Clash of Clans. The scenes in the background here are quite
That's
literally
dragon riding.
locations we see often in Warcraft, but they're
That's dragon flying
obviously
here,
just
dragon
high
riding.
fantasy settings, and it's mere coincidence that
I think this is the only zone that doesn't resemble any. Like, this zone does resemble anything I've seen in WoW so far. Is there. That's like a flying city. Do we have that in WoW? Oh, that's Dalaran. Holy shit, that's Dalaran.
fantasy settings, and it's mere coincidence that these buildings
What
look
the
like
heck?
Orc or Tauran architecture.
This
it
is,
would be
yeah.
completely unfair for me to claim that these resemble the likeness of
So-
Warcraft. It then
Yeah.
transitions into what looks like some sort of raid. Very flashy looking, definitely trying to sell the very epic feel.
That's a
similar
Legion
to
raid,
Lost
right?
Arks raids. Surely this game won't have problems with bots though, right? I'm sure Tencent
Wasn't there
have
a raid
shut down
in,
all
Legion that
forms
looks a
of
bit like
botting
that?
and
I forgot the
R&D
name,
going
though.
on in the billions of franchises they juggle between the billions of companies they've absorbed. Yes,
Okay, this
indeed.
model I
But
don't
then we're
recognize.
treated to some more panning shots of generic fantasy settings, pretty much ripping off Ardenweald from Shadowlands and
Ardenweald?
Shadow Moon
Looks like
Valley
dinosaurs, right, a
from
bit.
Warlords of Draenor. Most certainly a refined palette here. If it wasn't
is
a
Shadow Moon
complete
Valley.
shameless clone, I'd be pretty hyped. But then it transitions into some actual familiar-looking gameplay. As you can see, it
looks
does
like
look
Warlords
like
of
a
Draenor.
third-person
more.
MMORPG. So, if you're high on the copium for this one, maybe that little scene tickled your ball sack. However, for me, the most interesting part of the whole trailer is the climax. Yes, you guessed it, a generic, random boss with a cartoon squid on its head. Sadly though, this raid/world boss, although is summoning millions of
those
likely
Murlocs?
worthless ads, there is only
Murlocs.
3 or 4 people present, which is disappointing because that likely
That's a
means
Death Knight, you saw
whatever
that?
this is trying to be.
There's no way this is not a Frost Death Knight. Like, look even at what he's casting. He's using some Frost magic. He has like some sort of Shadow Moon or
Only
something. Look at this.
3 or 4 people
That's a
present, which
Frost
is
decay.
disappointing
Look.
because that likely means whatever this is trying to be, it most certainly isn't massively multiplayer. I will say though, the telegraphs
not
are clear
MMO?
and understandable, so that
Looks like an
reminded me a
MMO.
little bit of WildStar, bless its soul. The final concluding shot is a painful 5 FPS flyover of
Sebastian?
some knockoff Bastion from Shadowlands that would put
Yeah.
even Pantheon Rise of the Fallen's marketing
That's
to shame, and
Bastion.
then we fade into the spine-chilling name, Tarisland.
Tarisland,
Anyway,
Shadowlands.
that's pretty much it.
Tarisland.
This is such a weird, unexpected turn turn of events, and I hope Blizzard pull through.
I think
this,
they're mocking,
because
making
even
fun
though I
of
don't
Blizzard
enjoy
here.
Warcraft
I think
anymore,
so.
the game
This must be a
still
troll
means
game,
a lot
right?
to
Like
me,
to troll
and
them.
I don't want to see my beautiful Tauren be ripped off by these pretenders. I mean, it even has the Horde symbol on its belt.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Holy
But
shit.
as usual, I am just one nerd desperate for a good
It's so
MMO,
fun, guys.
and my
It's so much
opinion
fun
means
reacting
nothing
to something.
without yours in the comments below. And hey, this one was a little bit
I
different to
almost
the usual,
cry
and
here.
I will swiftly end
So
it because
good.
I got a lot of work to do. These hilarious scripts and editing
Wow.
don't write themselves, you know. But if you enjoyed this video and made it to the end,
I enjoyed it very
surely
much. I give it a
it's
thumbs
worth
up for
giving
sure.
a like. And if you're not already one of the 80%, why not bing chilling that subscribe button whilst you're
Yeah,
at
please
it? And
subscribe
I'll
to
see
him
you in
and
the
to
next
me,
one,
please.
because
You're high on copium. I love it. Yo, first I have to give this a thumbs up. But yeah, they really are copy pasting World of Warcraft here. Like, there's no way, like, guys, that someone comes up with such ideas, zones, and the looks, especially like the one at the beginning, where it looks like Sylvanas. Then we have the Dark Portal here. I see it looks like Bastion. We have freaking dinosaurs. We have like zones that look like from Warlords of Draenor. We have Dun Morok. We have all this kind of stuff. Like, especially like this one guy with the Shadowmoon kind of weapon that uses like some frost spells, and it looks like a Death Knight. Like, this is clearly a rip of a copy paste of World of Warcraft. And this Tauren guy, like, nothing can be more obvious with this hot like symbol. Yo, that's crazy. I'm wondering what kind of game this would be. I should check it out. Should we guys review it here actually? I think we should give this if there's like a free trial or something, we should try this out if it comes to also Europe. I can't wait to play World of Warcraft 2 made in China 15 years later. That's so funny, guys, really. But yeah, what do you guys think about this? Do you also feel like this is straight out of World of Warcraft? I mean, everything looks like in it, sort of, right? Only a few bosses, they look like they have like unique skins, but everything else, like even this like Blood Elf guy, that like the models, the races, like everything is just so much like in freaking World of Warcraft. And you know what's funny? Genshin Impact, and I keep saying this, and people are, some agree but some disagree. Like, Genshin Impact, let's be honest, is copy-paste Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like, there's no way this is not copy-paste Breath of the Wild. I have played Zelda Breath of the Wild. I have watched friends play this game. Like, if I walk around Genshin Impact, I think about Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like, even the landscape is designed very similar and stuff. Like, there's no way that some companies there are not getting a little too inspired by gaming companies from abroad, right? Like, we see this here again. It's just so funny. But hey, maybe this game is actually good. Like, let's not hate on the game. Let's actually check it out. What if this game is actually better than World of Warcraft 1? That would be funny. Yeah, but I keep wishing for WoW 2 because technology is advancing. We're already in 2023. Can we have a WoW 2 by 2025, please, or so? Because we're gonna have insane technology by then. But yeah, guys, that's it for today's video. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. I wish everyone a wonderful day. I will see you guys next time.